Hello again and welcome to another episode of the Franchise Everything podcast where we talk about everything and anything franchising. Today we're at somewhere really different where we're going to do a shed load of podcasts that you'll see coming out over time. The first up of the morning, we're joined by Jarrod Montigue, who is the CEO of Rolled. G'day, Jarrod.
G'day, Glenn. How are you going?
I'm very well, thanks. Thank you for being first cab off the rank.
No problem.
And we've never actually met before, have we?
No, not formally, no. We've seen each other around the traps
and on LinkedIn.
In this game. Yeah, absolutely.
So you're the CEO of Rolled. Can you just, for people who don't know, what's Rolled?
Well, Rolled, we specialise in very fresh, fast, quality Vietnamese food.
Yep.
So it's basically taking authentic, mother's recipes, Mama Hoang's recipes herself, and turning it into a franchise business. Literally.
And it started
recipes.
in Melbourne, didn't it?
Started in Melbourne, 13 years ago. I say we're 13 years young. We're still a family-owned business, but 100% Australian-owned business.
And location numbers?
We're up to 100 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's every state so far, are you?
Yeah, Tasmania's our last bastion here in Australia to get to. But we've actually just gone global and opened in New Zealand as well.
Nice. New Zealand's not quite global, but...
Well, I know. Isn't it?
But it is the perfect plan, isn't it, to go start that there. First international expansion, New Zealand is the launching ground for every brand pretty much, isn't it, in Australia?
Yeah.
I love the product. We have it all the time. So it's a great product. So Excellent. I love it when I see it in shopping centres. But we're going to talk about that. And this isn't just a Rolled thing, but in our pre-chat, we talked about a really good topic about channels of income for franchise partners. And you said something really interesting in the chat that you've actually got 5 very distinct channels rather than how I would normally buy there is just through the food court, grab it and go.
Yeah.
Let's run through those because it's like a case study for any franchise brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially in food, Glenn. And I've worked in this industry my whole life. I've worked for many other different food businesses in franchising. And, the one thing that we wanted to do at Rolled was create other alternatives for our franchise partners to generate revenue, but also to create more awareness out there in the marketplace about our product as well.
It has a double-pronged strategy, isn't it? And
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, that wonderful thing, the pandemic that affected our franchise industry in a big way, out of that have come some great initiatives and ideas that we've just run with. I mean, who would have thought, QR code table ordering would now just be a given thing that we do.
And we all whinged about it for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Getting used to it. And, the explosion of home delivery, of course, now that's just a custom way we do business.
Yeah.
But we go a little bit deeper and have created some other channels as well.
Okay, so let's go. So let's go 1 to 5 because traditionally it's just like foot traffic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go through it.
Well, look, we still rely on over-the-counter sales.
This is number 1, for example?
Number 1. So we still rely on people seeing us in our locations, bricks and mortar stores, walking up to the counter and getting a great experience in store. But another channel that's always been there is catering. And I guess, people love having, fresh, healthy food these days at events, or it might be in the corporate office. Once upon a time, corporate catering from QSR businesses was a big thing. Now it's exploded to, I'm having a birthday party at home on the weekend. Love your product. Can I get it as a catering option? So certainly catering has absolutely exploded in our business. We've doubled sales in the last 12 months with our catering. I still believe we've got a lot more to go.
So how are you doing that? Is that through a deliberate in-store strategy or an online strategy that you're driving?
Yeah, a combination of both. And we definitely rely on our franchise partners to generate a lot of activity on a local level, promoting to a lot of local businesses, local schools, sporting clubs, etc.
Yep.
And that's really worked. And I think too that gone are the days, when you turn up to a function or event, you get the standard little sandwich or the party pie or sausage roll.
Still good, but
still
has its
popular.
place.
But people, we're very allergen-friendly as well.
Yeah.
So we don't have any peanuts in our food. Vegans love us. We rice paper, so we're gluten-friendly as well. And these days, when you go to a party, I think every kid's got different requirement now.
Yes.
We cater for all of that.
And every adult's turned vegan or something like that. Yeah,
exactly.
I know them well.
Yeah.
And it's, I suppose, the multicultural side to Australia as well helps that a lot because this probably wouldn't have been the case 15 years ago, would it, for that product?
That's
the reach
exactly
of it.
right. That's exactly right. So certainly catering's a big one for us. The other area is our FMCG products. And FMCG, you've probably seen if you're shopping in the supermarkets, you'll see in the Asian section some of our retail sauces and our noodles.
I know them well. I love them. Yeah, we use them at home.
But the great thing is, from our franchise partners' point of view, they can sell all those products in store as well. And what we're finding now with our positioning in shopping centres, when you're going and doing the grocery shop and you're stopping by our store and buying something, oh, I might take some of that lovely sauce home with me. Or we've even got take-home meal kits already made up. So if you want to try making Vietnamese at home and you're not sure how to go about it, we take all the thinking out of it.
So it's almost like a HelloFresh type of thing. Is that the equivalent? Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
It's a great idea. Fantastic
so it's all
idea.
boxed up, ready to go. Simple date night if you're looking to cater and
to look like you're competent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's all fresh and ready to go.
Yeah. So that's the third. So
that's number 3. Yeah. The other thing too, home delivery. So we've got the partnerships with your standard aggregators, Uber, DoorDash, etc. That's obviously a revenue stream that's still doing quite well and a growing segment for us as well.
Yep.
We're looking at doing some more activations to grow our nighttime trade in particular.
So do you do that through the app with those platform
Correct.
providers?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's an area that, I think we're all accustomed now to, that especially in food, that you've got to have that as part of your business. So that's 4 channels there.
But before we move on there, with that delivery, how are you going to change your menu at all, or are you doing some specific items to try and get that nighttime stuff moving?
Yeah,
What's the play there?
It's a great point you raised, Glenn, because we're actually doing a lot more now on value-added meals, so that you can spend a set amount, $40 or $50, but feed the family of 4 for $50 is a price point that's quite attractive, and certainly we've got particular products, our beautiful first soup, our rice bowls, our noodle salads, that we could package it up in a nice meal that again, you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
And with some sides and some drinks, it's ready to go. So.
And you're right, that price point is crucial. That $50 mark is what you've sort of you're
I think that $50 to $60 price point, again, it's an attractive proposition. And again, I've got a family myself, and you're always thinking about how can I have my family eat healthy, but also affordable at the same time.
And I think, I'm a marketer, and I think as marketers we've got to fall back to that a bit more and remember ourselves as consumers as well, and that gut feel.
Yeah.
I really get irritated when I hear people talk really in macro terms, and I just always think, you're a consumer as well. Like we're only talking, Jono, our videographer, we're only talking this morning about when he goes to Coles now, he said you get nothing for $100. So if you think about $50 or $60 for a meal,
absolutely,
there's not much left over in a basket for $100.
No, that's exactly right. Exactly right.
Massive challenge. Okay, so that's 4.
That's 4.
So what about the 5th one?
Well, we're excited.
I can't remember what the 5th one is that you told me.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, it's only just really new, and we're really excited. And it's what we call our Rolled at Schools program. And again, with the Healthy Choices legislation coming in to impact the healthcare sector, it's now impacting the school sector right across the country. So again, the old tuck shop or canteen at school where you used to get the hot dogs, party pies, sausage rolls.
What's wrong with the hot dog or meat pie for my boys?
We all love that, Glenn, don't we? All that indulgent food. But, our kids need to eat healthier these days. Yeah. And, it's quite challenging for the schools to actually come up with alternate products that can meet all the nutritional and dietary requirements, can also tick the box with the legislation requirements, but also be convenient for the kids as well.
Yeah.
And
to actually that they want to have it.
Oh, correct.
That's the other big thing, isn't it?
Exactly. It's got to be something that they like, you know, and so that's a channel we've just developed. We've actually got 4 schools we're supplying as a pilot at the moment, going exceptionally well. We're ready for national launch for the new school year next year, and that again is an additional revenue stream for a franchise partner out there.
So how does that work for franchisees? So they will get orders, weekly or every day, or how does it look at the moment in the pilot?
We want to set it up to make it very convenient for everyone. So it works just like ordering like an Uber or a DoorDash. You've got an exclusive rolled app on your phone, and the parents can actually place an order by 8 o'clock that morning. The students have got particular lunch boxes they can order. And again, our rice paper rolls are quite popular with students. So we've got particular lunch boxes they can order. Simply place the order on the app. You can punch in the student's class and their name, and then the store will actually deliver those products fresh to the school every morning.
Wow.
Now, from a school's point of view, that could be a 5-day-a-week drop, or for the ones that we're piloting at the moment, they're doing 1 to 2 days per week.
That could have enormous potential to your business, and also enormous impact. I mean, the biggest stress we have every morning in our house is school lunches. And so here you go, $15 to go to tuck shop, and no idea what they're going to get there. And most of the time they come home and say there is nothing they liked.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's opening up different channels as well here too, not just the schools drop, Glenn, but the other important thing is schools are big on fundraisers. So another avenue that we can offer is to do what we call a canteen takeover day. And we're actually doing it with a school here in Melbourne coming up in November, where we're actually taking over their canteen for a day. So it'll only be rolled available for the students that day. Again, we'll have 4 different lunch boxes that they can order. And for every lunch box we sell, we're donating $1 back to the school. So it was a great fundraising opportunity. And this school in particular is they're developing their computer lab. So they're looking at buying new laptops and computer equipment for the school. And our local rolled franchisee is actively contributing to that fundraising cause.
It's fantastic.
Which is great, yeah.
So how do you articulate these sort of opportunities in your business opportunity speak sense? How are you? I mean, because you've got to be a little bit guarded, isn't it? If it's a pilot program, it's not fully out. But I imagine you're fairly excited to go, well, we've got this thing rolling.
Well, it is. And look, we've also upped our resource and support office. So I've got a B2B team that I oversee, and I've got a schools champion in my team who's actively, doing all the cold calling and speaking to the schools directly. And then in turn, working with the local franchise partner. So, we're helping guide them through the process as well. Because I could imagine, from a franchise perspective, it's hard for me to break the ice with some of these schools. I might have some existing relationships, but can you help me with that? So I've got a devoted team for that. I
can imagine it's a centrally controlled thing if you want it to happen.
Yeah,
really,
absolutely. And also too, with the filtering of the orders coming through, we want to make sure operationally it's working well, and it's all set up. So we're there to help guide our stores through it.
I imagine it's quite a tech. There was quite a tech planning in the background for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to make sure not only the app works, but also too, we've got to make sure that every order going to the students is correct. So there's a receipt that's spits out with the student's name on it. It's got to go on each bag, clearly labelled, and in the right class tub as well, so it gets to the right student.
Yeah, some processes
there.
It
is. But anyway, it's all exciting.
Yeah, it is. And when we talk about this, it's great. So thanks for being so open with it, because I think, from a franchising perspective, we all want success for everyone. There's plenty of market for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think this is a case study for you finding other ways for income for franchisees. People need to think a bit more out of the box, I think.
Well, I think they do. And the other thing too that's very mindful is you've got to think of the lifetime value of a customer as well. And now that we're starting to tap into schools a bit more, it's not just the catering service you might be providing with, fresh meals. It opens up to fundraising opportunities. You can actually capture that school for life. And, we've got a pretty bold target that coming into the new school year, we want at least 75 of our stores to be servicing one school a week. And
just the end of next year?
Yeah, by the end of next year. And just doing some quick math, that could be an absolute game changer from a revenue point of view for our stores. So we're excited.
I hope so. Well, let's check in on it again this time next year.
I think we'll have to,
and see where we're at.
Yeah.
Thanks for being so open and sharing it, Jarrod. It's
pleasure,
much appreciated.
Glenn. Yeah, absolutely. No problem.
And that's it for another one, Franchise Everything podcast. Hope you really enjoyed that. Lots of interesting insights for you. So take them and do what you will with them. Please share, like, subscribe, and do all that sort of stuff, and we'll catch you in the next one soon.